What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Football Boot Hour here on the Boot Wizard YouTube channel. And you may notice that this week, the wonderful man next to me is not the Lockout Boot Blog. It's not Andrew. He's away this week. So we have drafted in an incredibly worthy replacement. LJ from LJCollects has joined us. Welcome, LJ. Thank you very much for...
Thank you for having me. Really appreciate
Nah,
it.
you are very, very welcome, sir. So this week we are going to be talking about, of course, new releases, things that we picked up, and then it is a big Q&A. So I've got a whole bunch of questions from Instagram that are mainly aimed at LJ here, but I'll jump in where necessary. And then we have, obviously, the live chat here. So thank you very much, Don Mango, for joining us. Thank you very much, Proper Boots. And thank you very much, Boot Maniac Julio, for joining us as well. Clippy's Collections also in the house. So we'll take questions from the chat as well, probably as priority, shall we say. So before we jump into it, LJ, how's it going? You all right, man?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. You know, life's good. Good to be here.
Life's good. Just chilling.
How are you? How are you?
I am tired, but that's just that's standard. That's just my life. I'm constantly tired. That's just how it goes. But what can you do? Would you like to do pickups or new releases first?
We'll do new releases first.
New releases first. Let's do new releases. Okay, so there wasn't too many, but there's definitely a few that we can get into. And the first one I'm going to pull up here is we've got the New Balance Tequila. So this is the Unisport 30th anniversary kind of Argol collab. Tequila in this kind of silver and green look, which I think is pretty nice. What do you reckon, LJ?
I forgot these dropped. I was trying to remember what you were going to ask. So these remind me of the categories.
So hold on. You know what? We don't even need to do that. We just bring them up on screen. These are the categories.
So at the very least, they're good because they are good. So, I'll give it a high good. Very high
good. Yeah. I think a high good is very fair. Yeah, that's probably where I go as well. I think the green's good. I think the silver's good. I think the kind of like the patterning through it, like topography through the heel, I think it's a really nice looking boot. I think high good is fair. Nice. Okay, well, let's see what else we
got. That kind of a silver, I feel like.
So you can't really go wrong, can you? Next up, keeping the kind of like lime green theme going, New Balance have dropped a brand new pack, which I've forgotten the name of. I keep wanting to say Lime Glow, but that was the green pack they dropped previously, wasn't it? So it's definitely not that. But anyway, we've got a new Tequila, Furon, and a 442 Elite. What do you reckon?
So the Tequila, I don't know what it is about it. Not a fan of it, to be honest. Don't like those at all. The 442 is nice. I think it almost has like Lotto Stadio vibes.
It does a little bit, yeah, that's true.
Which is nice. That's a good thing. That's a big compliment. And the Furon is lovely. I feel like that kind of a green I'm a big fan of. I guess maybe it's almost like a Nigeria green, so maybe I'm biased towards it. But like, yeah, I'm gonna say, are we doing the pack all in one go?
If you wanna split them up, you can, or you can do the pack. It's up to you.
I'm gonna do. We'll do the pack. We're gonna go low good because I think low good moves it down. If I was just going with either of the other two, it would be good but higher. But I think the white tequila, white, black, green is a meh at best for me personally. So unfortunately, has to bring the whole of the pack down.
The whole pack comes down. Fair enough. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I did actually really like the tequila when I first saw it, but I kind of have gone off it. And for me, I think it's something to do with like the black around the heel. I don't know. It's just not really working. But I did quite like it to start with. It probably would have been better if they'd have got rid of the black altogether and just gone with that kind of lime green,
100%.
all where the black is, 100%. And just had like the two colors. I think that would have been cool. But the 442, I don't really do black boots, but I think it's a nice black boot, so that's
Mhm.
fair enough. And then I agree, the Furon I think looks great, really good in that kind of bright. Let's call it Nigeria green because that's definitely
That's
what
what it
that's
is, I think.
yeah, that's definitely the vibes it's giving me. And yeah, I think good as well. That's fine, and definitely low good can be fine with that one. Jesus Football says he only likes the tequila from this pack. He's
Really.
there's already comments coming in and off something you said recently. Rest in peace, the laceless tequila.
Rest in peace. It was like, do you know, it just hit me in the middle of the week. I was like, I've not seen a latest one. And I was just like, and I was furiously Googling, I was like, did I miss this? But no,
No,
honestly, it's a shame. I think it's a shame, to be honest.
I have a pair of not the last generation, but the one before. So not the plus, but basically the same boot. You know, there's just the one
Mm-hmm.
before. It's actually the ones I think you put them up on your reel, the silver ones.
So, yeah.
That's the pair that I have, and I do like them. But I was always going to wear the laced version instead of the laceless. So I
Yeah, I
don't.
think once the lace dropped, I guess it kind of, I don't think it has to like almost be the writing on the wall because you can just do both. You know what I mean? But I guess maybe they ran the numbers and it just didn't make sense to have both, and one was much more popular than the other. But
I think it
yeah.
helps that they really kind of nailed the tequila as well. Like it wasn't just like a kind of middling boot. They got to a
Mm,
point where it was a really good football boot. So it's almost like they didn't need the gimmick almost. They didn't need the laceless anymore because they just had a good boot that people were buying
I think so.
anyway.
I think so.
So yeah, Proper Boots says tequila very mixed reviews. Andrew, so Footloose Boots, Andrew Palmer, yes, making the call out. Everybody do like the video, indeed, and lots of love for the Furon. Lots of love for the Furon. There's Clippy, Ryan, Sam, Sammy Phillips, all in for the Furon, and that leaves us with. So there is one boot and one pack, but I don't have an image of the boot, so we're just going to do the pack. So we have the brand new Nike pack, but there was
Yes.
also a Premier 3 released this week as well. But I failed to get the picture of that, so we're just going to pretend that didn't happen, and we're just going to move on to this. So this is the Max Voltage pack, which I
Yes,
have to
yes.
say, I'm a dad, and I really enjoy the pun of it being Max Voltage and an all Volt pack. That tickles me. I enjoyed that quite a lot. Uh, but what do you reckon, LJ?
What do I reckon? Phantom's nice. Phantom is really nice. Um, Something about the material doesn't do it for me. It's almost the color is almost like dingy.
Yeah,
Maybe that's really harsh for me to say,
I
but
just don't think they can get that Volt color to stand out on that thin knit quite the same way. I think if you look at the Phantom, the bright color is in the ribbing. It's in like the bits that stand up, like the thicker elements of
uh,
the boot. So I'm assuming they can get enough dye and stuff into that area to actually make it really bright. Whereas because the mercurial's very thin, and those thinner areas of the Phantom 6, I'm assuming they can't get them to be that super bright color. So you end up with this almost swampy looking mercurial.
so you think they can't get the up or the remainder of the upper to look the same way as the swoosh on the mercurial, the same
Yeah, so
color?
the swoosh is printed on.
Yeah,
So
so
the
you think that
swoosh
they
is
can't
just like the
replicate that color?
graphic. Exactly. I don't think they can
Okay.
get that color on the grip net.
Okay, well, if that's the reason, then I'm sorry for thinking. I'm sorry for. I'm not sorry to be fair, but it's like
No, you shouldn't be sorry. Like if they're going to
it's
do a boot that's that color, that's on them to get it right.
yeah. So I think in a similar way to the NB pack, that brings it down, especially when you're talking about essentially the main boot in the main boot for the brand or the most popular boot for the brand.
Yeah.
This I'm gonna put in there to be honest.
Oh, LJ saying meh.
I'm good. It
Uh,
just because I didn't. I think my first. I didn't see it, and I wasn't excited. You know what I mean? I was like, it's
mm-hmm.
nice. Like it's fine. As in, none of them are bad colors. You know, but especially when you're talking about like Nike Volt boots, where there's so many really sort of great ones. You know,
Yeah.
where it's like it's almost like a tradition. I guess.
Yeah, it's very iconic.
Yeah, this is yeah, it has to be man. Not everything can be good. You know, you're giving out two goods. You can't give everything good.
Yeah, I kind of so like I do like it, but I really like a vault colorway. Like it's just a color that I quite enjoy. And I like not that I want to buy another pair pretty much ever, but I really like the Vault on the Tiempo. I think the Tiempo is actually the best looking of the three,
Yes.
because it's got the color so into it properly.
Hmm.
I'd have probably liked to have seen it with a swoosh that was just that kind of orange color, rather than the black with the orange outline. But overall, I think it's good. But I'm happy for that to go in meh. That's fair enough. That can drop itself into meh. What is the hold on? Okay, hold on. Hazes Football saying they already did a Vault Superfly. Didn't they do already do a Vault Vapor Superfly? Hold on. Vapor
Just not.
16 Vault. I don't know. I'm looking it up now. They did. So it's actually. So I wouldn't. Is it Vault? It probably is. Hold
Oh
on.
yeah, no, that's
They
false.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they just decided we're gonna go with dingy this time.
Hold on. Did they? Am I looking? Yeah. No, I'm not looking at the wrong thing.
I forgot about that. That's another thing of how many colorways we have. Just completely forgot
Isn't it
this.
just? That's nuts. Okay. What? I'm so confused.
That's a nice colorway as well. I like that Volt one.
Okay. So sorry. So this is max voltage, and the other one they had was mad voltage.
So there's a lot of
And I'm
voltage.
assuming this is actually why they've done it a different color. So I'm clearly wrong. It's not because they couldn't do it, it's because they've already done a boot in basically that exact color. Give me 1 second. I'll throw it up on the screen. Um, so yeah, they have already done Volt. They just did a better job of it the first time round, and they had to do
Seems
something
that
this
way.
time.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Come on. For some reason, I don't know why this is. This is a little behind the scenes for everybody. Whenever I want to put something up on the screen, the program that we use only allows you to put up video. So you can't put up any photos. So I have to convert all the photos into like MP4 files and then put them up. It's weird. It just means it takes longer. But this is the original one. So this was the mad voltage pack, as opposed to the max voltage. And this one they obviously got the right color.
Hmm.
And then for this new one, they clearly went, oh well, we can't do that again, and have gone for
Which
something
again,
different. So in
another
which case, it definitely belongs in meh because that's on purpose.
it's another pitfall of too many colorways. Like, oh no, we've done
Yeah,
that. You
so
know.
so many colorways. You're literally releasing a boot that has basically the same base color, and
Mm.
we already forgot about it.
You know.
Yeah,
Therein lies a
like
lot of the problem.
Footloose boots. Yeah, completely forgot about them. Everybody's just like, what? Yes, Matt, I am talking about Vault again, but this is actually Vault, so it's fine. Uh, um, yeah, Sam Phillips says the Vault needs to be retired for at least a year. Front Post reckons it looks like somebody spilt coffee on it, which I think is kind of fair. Like it looks like somebody got the Vault boot and then spilt coffee on it and tried to clean it off
Yeah,
again.
honestly.
I think that's very fair. And yes, I do agree. Those phantoms. I know I've only got the lows here, but if you look at them in high, they do look very magista. There's that kind of you know that there's a
Yes,
very
yes, yes.
specific magista color that they look like. I think that's a great call. To be fair. So a lot of love for your kit in the chat as well, LJ. I don't know if you can see the chat right now,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of love for the Napoli kit in the chat there.
Can you see? In the
Oh,
back?
oh, here we go.
Can
We got it.
you see that? Usher on
I
the
can see.
back. Recent purchase. For one today. Classic football
Nice.
shirts. They had like a
Uh,
mad sale. I think give me something
I
like a sponsor.
I just put up a short unboxing of mine actually. So it's really cold. So I work in like a studio, which is a garage. So I kind of converted a garage, but it gets really cold at night. So I end up wearing like multiple layers. But besides the point, so outside of this very kind of thick shirt I've got on, I did just get this jacket, which I'm also wearing, and I've also just done a unboxing of. So this is a NWSL Bay FC jacket.
Yeah,
So Foudy's just did a big sale, and they had like a mystery jacket. So these jackets are like 150 euro, and they had them up for like 50 or 60 euro, but you couldn't pick what you wanted. You just had to
fine.
buy
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
They
yeah.
sent one out to you, and you could say like a couple of like teams you didn't want or whatever. So I was just like, just don't send me anything from an English team, because obviously, because I'm only getting like, if it's Man United, it's fine. If it's anything else, then I don't want it.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
was
yeah.
just like, just don't send me anything from an English team. So yeah, I got the Bay FC jacket, which is
Not
pretty
bad.
sweet.
Not bad.
So, oh, I have a Bohemians jersey on as well. So
How
this
cold
is
is it
an
in your studio? You got the t-shirt, the jacket,
yeah,
and then the
oh
jacket
man,
at the top.
it's so just imagine going and sitting, like if you got a shed, imagine going sitting in a shed with no heating.
And it's
That's what
biscuit.
I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got a Bohemians jersey. This is a Fontaine's DC charity
Okay.
jersey. If you're from Ireland, it's made by O'Neill's, and you know your stuff. So yeah, it's a charity one, that one. So if you know Fontaine's DC, you'll kind of know what it is. And Matt, yeah, the Foudy's mystery bag is indeed hitting, and this is, you know what, this is a good transition actually to get to kind of pickups, because I got that,
Mm,
you got your shirt. In that same package from Foudy's, I also got a North Carolina Courage jersey.
okay.
So that came in, another NWSL jersey, and that goes with my jacket that I already owned. So that was handy. So I already had this. I just bought this to go with it. So that was pretty sweet. So that was a kind of nice thing to come up today. But back to the boots. Did you have any pickups this week, LJ, or anything new that's come in?
I got the black, white, red precisions.
Nice.
Unfortunately, I'm not in my house, so I don't have them to hand. But very happy with that purchase. Very, very happy.
Yeah.
I
How
think
are they in
it's
hand? They're
they're
nice.
lovely. They're lovely. I think it's one of the best remakes they've done, and considering how many they've done,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
high praise. I don't know what it is
How's
about
the
them.
quality on them, with them being like, because obviously they're made in Germany, but the Mania made in Germany had kind of quality issues. How's the quality on
I
those
mean, they
ones?
feel fine, like in hand. I'm probably not gonna wear them to play football,
Yeah.
which would be the real test. Based on people said, similar to what you said, there's been massive like QC issues with not all of, but most of, and I've heard probably the most about the precisions. So the
Right.
white ones and the gold ones, I think more or less anytime I've posted any precision, I've had either comments or DMs like, "Oh,
Everyone's like
yeah, through."
terrible.
So it's only fair to assume that no, maybe it's not fair, but it's fair to assume that there may be similar issues with these ones. I'm probably not going to wear them to find out because I like them intact. But
Yeah, I like them in one piece. Thank you very much.
they do look great. They look very, very good. I think they've managed to, I guess, really nicely. I feel like capture the essence of the precision in them, like the original, anyway. And yeah, it's funny because when I got the gold ones, I was like, yeah, these are the ones. And then when I saw the black ones, I was almost like, I might just get rid of the gold ones and just keep these, sell them and then
Nice.
rather than just have loads, but I'll probably just keep them both. But like, no, very happy with those. I had the EA Sports Phantom Sixes.
Yeah, hold on. Which ones did you get?
Well, I got both of them. I'm probably going to send the high ones
Of
back.
course you did.
I'm just going to keep the low ones, if I ever.
Hold on, I can provide a visual representation of that one.
The thing is, do you know what? These are nice, but I liked them a little bit less in person. I think they're grayer than I thought they were going to be. I thought they would be whiter.
They are a little grey. In fact, they're very grey when you kind
They're
of
grey. I
when
think.
you
I
look
think
at
they're
it.
not
They
white.
are
They're just
grey. They're
grey,
not white. Yeah.
which is fine. Like they look good, but I don't know if they were, even though I don't wear white boots. I like to look at white boots, but I don't use them to play football. But like, yeah, they're good. They're good, and the highs are good as well. But I would have liked to have had I guess they would have never have done this, but I would have liked to have had the option to have the high colorway in the low. But
Yeah,
obviously, they can't make four
I,
boots.
yeah, I do feel like the option would have been nice both ways, but yeah, four boots would have probably been a bit much for an EA Sports collab, really.
Yeah,
Um, I really like them, but I think that if you take away the presentation, like the box and the
box is
paper and the
lovely.
insoles,
Yeah.
if you take away all of that, then they're actually less impressive. I am a little blinded by, oh, the string bag's custom and great. The insoles are super custom. The
Mm.
box is great. The little EA Sports, like the EAFC card on the inside with the mirror, it's all very cool. But yeah, I'm probably a little blinded by that. But
I think it won't be one which we look back on that not that with that much significance, because in the end,
yeah.
like, there's only so much a box can do for the legacy of opinion,
Yeah, I don't think that they're not something that somebody's going to be paying 400 or 500 euros for in a few years' time. Like that.
which people do for the other ones, some of the other ones anyway, or
Mm-hmm.
like maybe not that much, but much more than retail. I don't think,
Yeah,
and these ones seem to be very available as well, so they'll be that too.
yeah, they weren't
It's
hard to
nice.
pick up at all.
I think they're
Like,
probably still in every size in every retailer. If I look now, I'm sure there'll be every size, even on Nike, which is nice for a special edition, especially one with like a special box and other special
yeah, one with
components.
an actual tie-in to a brand and things like that. Yeah,
Yeah, still every size on Nike,
yeah, which is crazy.
which is
Which is
must be
crazy.
was that the beginning of last week or the week before it came out?
Um,
It's been a couple of
I've
weeks,
had mine at least 2 weeks now.
so there
So
you go.
like, yeah. Um, Matt asks, did you size up or down for the precision LJ?
True to size.
True size.
So
There you
if
go.
I were to have done either, I would likely have gone up a half, probably.
Right, but you're happy with true to size.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I like wearing my boots quite like really snug. So if they then are a boot that fits a tiny bit long, it needs to fit really long for me to size up. If you get what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I had the gold precisions in my normal size. I wore them. They fit a little bit tight, but not so tight that it was uncomfortable, and I wouldn't have wanted to size up or down with those personally.
Nice. There you go, Matt. Question answered. Um, yeah, Front Post said they actually did a pro tier exactly like that, low with the black color. That was kids only though, wasn't it? I
Really?
think
Let me
Front
see
Post.
that. Let me
So
see
there's
this.
if you go on Nike, there is a version of the low, but it's kids.
That's what they did
Um,
with the Air Maxes as well, right?
yes, exactly. Yeah. So there was like the Air Max kids.
I remember I was
Is
playing a football match, and there was a guy on the other team, and he had the low Air Maxes, and I was like, "Oh, this guy's got some fake boots." And he came past, and he was like, "Oh no, no, I'm like size 5 or size 6." I was like,
I just got small feet.
"He did, and his feet were tiny." So I was like, "Fair enough."
Fair enough. But yeah, you should be able to see him there. The Junior Phantom
I
6
see
Low
them. Yeah,
Pro.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So what's that like?
What could
They
have
do
been?
look there. They go up to a 5.5. So if anybody's got size 5.5 feet, you can pick up the Pro in the EA Sports
They look quite
version.
cool.
Yeah, they look alright, don't they? I've got
Yeah,
small feet, but they're not that small.
yeah. I wish
Um,
I could squeeze into those. I can't.
uh, anything else? Anything else coming through the studio?
I might take a look at the what do you call it, the pack that I just said I didn't like, and then we'll see in person. But aside from that, what's come out recently that I've been looking at? I've been trying to persuade myself, which I eventually will do, to get the Obsidian Strike Predators. I've
Yeah,
seen it dropped in price on Pro Direct. I think I'm waiting for one more an extra little
little,
5%.
just, yeah,
Yeah, and
cheeky little
then
5% extra.
that'll be me. But no, nothing else recently that I can remember. Let me look at my Instagram, see what I've posted to see if it. Oh, fairly
Yeah,
recently, to be fair, like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Is that recent enough? Nah,
that's
probably
recent.
not. Okay, I got the Yamaha 50s, which I really like.
Nice.
So happy with those. What about you? What have you picked up? You've seen that you've got
So
the. The max is it
I
max voltage? It's called.
sorry.
This spec's called max voltage.
Yeah, max voltage. But so what I did recently, so I did kind of know this max voltage was coming, but I didn't think it was coming for another week.
Okay.
So my intention was, so I have sometimes a little communication, a little back and forth with Nike as to like when things are coming and things like that. So and they had some boots that they were basically like, oh, we're looking for anybody who's got content on these. So they weren't going to send the boots out to me, but they're like, if you've got content that they're looking for on certain boots, it can work favorably down the line. So let's say hypothetically there's a new Tiempo coming. If
Hmm.
I've got out content that they're seeing that's favorable, that works pretty well, they might be tempted to sort me out with a pair of Tiempos a little bit earlier, or just sort me out with a pair of Tiempos at all. So
Okay.
basically, I'm trying to like sweet talk Nike right now. So there was
Hmm.
some boots that are like, we're looking for content on these. So I went and got the boots. I'm not keeping them; they're going back. But I went and got the boots to make a little bit of content on. So and it's backfired a little bit because this max voltage pack dropped, and just after the boots arrived.
Okay.
So what I have is I have the Vapor 16
I like this colorway.
Pros. So that's obviously, so this is what I mean by it's backfired a little bit, because this is now the older colorway. So people are
Mm.
kind of looking for the max voltage stuff, but Nike are kind of pushing this one because they want to kind of obviously sell through.
Okay.
And yeah, so I have this one that came in the FG. So this is the pro version, which I will
Hmm.
say is actually a very good boot. I think Nike have done this deliberately. So like the biggest problem with the Pro for me is that the upper's too slick. It's too kind of slippy. It
Okay.
needs a bit of texture. But I think like that Nike could have solved that in so many ways, but they've
Yeah.
just
But they want
decided
you
not to because they
because they
want it to be
want you
like,
to
oh
be grip.
no,
You ain't got
this is
you ain't
slick.
got
You need
grip
to go and
net.
get the
Sorry,
grip
mate.
net.
The ball's gonna slip off
Exactly.
your foot. We're gonna get the grip net.
Got to go get the grip net. I think that's a
Okay.
very conscious decision to not put to make it not just not give you grip net, but make it very slick.
The
Like
opposite of grip
no,
net. The anti
yeah,
grip net.
the
Yeah.
exact opposite. And then just to double down on that, I also got. Oh, it looks like it's the same boot. Nah, they're an AG. So I have an AG and
Mhm.
an FG pair because I was
Nice.
essentially the plan is it's all for kind of short content and stuff, but just an
Hmm.
FG versus AG kind of comparison video, things like that. So if over the next like week you see an absolute deluge of Nike content on my channel, you absolutely know why, or on my like Instagram, my TikTok, you know why. And then I also got, just to round off the whole thing, we have the elites. So I've got
The
three
SG.
pairs of vapors all in the same pack, shall we say?
Mm-hmm.
Two pros, one elite,
As well. Mm.
in the same colorway. It's all just for kind of like little short like TikTok content,
I
that kind
do
of
like
stuff.
this colorway. I do like it.
Yeah, you know what? I wasn't overly sure on it, but this is really nice in hand. And I think this is one that I'd be like, I would take this over the new one, the max
Oh,
voltage.
comfy. By far for me anyway.
Like this in hand is at the point where I'm like, you know what? If these, so like I say, I'm sending them back because I don't want to spend that much money on boots that I don't need right now.
Hmm.
Um, but especially because I have a pair of Superflies and a pair of Vapors, so I don't need a third pair of Vapors, you know. But if they drop into a big enough sale, or I find a little like maybe a
Yeah.
cheeky vinted pair or
Hmm.
something
Hmm.
like that, I'm like, oh, I could be tempted. I could definitely be tempted
That's
because
where I am. I'm like, if you want to drop them enough,
yeah, yeah. You want to drop that price down enough, I could be tempted. But yeah, I think they're very, very nice, and definitely a preference over the max voltage there. So yeah, I'm swimming in Nike boots right now.
just
I
see.
also got another pair of the Sam Kerr signature boots. So I showed those
Yes.
off like 2 weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
But so what happened with those is I bought a pair, I got them in,
Yes.
I did kind of like an unboxing video, and then this doesn't have like I'm making it sound like this happens regularly. It does not. This is the second time
Then they
this year that
send
this
you
has
some.
happened. They sent me some. So
Okay.
like Nike were in touch and were like, "Oh, do you want to make some content on the Sam Kerr boots?" And I was like, "Yes." They were like, "Oh, we'll send you out a pair." It was a long thing. They were supposed. So what they were originally going to send me out, they kind of. This wasn't just me as a whole. They kind of backed off this idea from a lot of people, but they were going to send me out like there's a really like massive fancy presentation box for them. Um,
Okay.
so
Not
they
seen them.
were they were originally going to send that out to me, but then that didn't happen. So in the end, they basically just went, "Oh, if you want to go online and order yourself a pair, we'll give you a discount code to get 100% off." So I did get a pair from Nike. It was very, very kind of them. And like I say, I make it sound like this happens all the time. It doesn't. It's the second time it's happened this year, but that is twice more than most other years. So I'm very, very pleased.
So what, did you send the first pair back?
I sent the first pair back. Yeah, I hadn't worn them
Okay.
yet, so I sent the first pair back, and I just have the second pair from Nike, which is awesome
Super.
because now I have a pair of the Sam Kerr boots in my collection, which I was always going to buy anyway. At some point, whether it's on sale or whatever, I was always going to get those boots.
That is the
Um,
best. Get a pair you were always gonna buy for free,
yeah,
you
and it's
know?
like, would you like a pair? It's like, yes, please.
Mhm.
like, so
Oh
they
no, sorry, I've got
arrived.
one already, don't worry.
Yeah, yeah. Could you imagine if I was like, no, it's fine. I've already got a pair. Don't worry about it. I
Uh,
just said nothing. I was like, yes, please send them. And then they arrived and I just sent the other ones back. I was like, I'm good
okay,
with this.
so what happened with the presentation box?
I think it was just kind of like a change with the marketing. So like the strategy obviously changed because I've seen a couple of creators got them, but the creators that I saw were in Australia.
Right.
So and they
Yes.
I and mainly I
Fine.
think for like female creators as well, which again it all makes a lot of sense. I'm just having a look now. So I need to. Here she is. So there's a. She's kind of like she's like a football fashion creator.
Yeah.
She's very very good. She's at Han dot Macc, and she it'd be a little while ago. Yeah, so she has a. It's one of her most viewed videos. Got like 85,000 views. As you scroll down her page, and she has the presentation box. So if we put it up here, so this box is huge, and she has like the boot. Yeah, so you see how big that is, and
Oh
then
no.
wait till she,
Oh
we're
yeah.
just watching TikTok videos on the on a thing. So yeah, like it has a different like opening and
Yeah.
everything, and then inside she like pulls out like a football shirt, and then she's got
I've
the
seen that.
boots and a
What's this guy's
card and
name?
all that kind of stuff in it.
This other guy that's in Australia, Hanson. I forget his the name. Space of Soccer. He got that as well, I think.
That
No,
yes,
was it
that
him? Might have been someone else in Australia, but I've seen somebody else in Australia
it
with the
wouldn't
same.
surprise me if Space of Soccer got a pair for sure, for sure. Josh Tossell says that he has a code for the Obsidian Strikes. I get them down to £162.
Why is he saying that? Because then I'll just
Josh, drop my man drop my man a DM. He might be interested.
don't DM it to me, please.
uh, Proper Boot says James, your videos wanting me to get a pair of Vapor Pro AGs, the exact colorway. They look damn good. Yeah, they do. The those Vapor Pro AGs, like to the point where I was almost like, I know I'm saying I'm sending them back, but I'm like, I kind of want to keep them. Like I actually like, I really like them. I think they're a nice boot. Um, I think. Oh Christ! I'm just dropping things now. I'm not going to worry about it. I think with that, we've successfully got halfway through the podcast and failed to answer any questions. So we should probably answer some questions. So we'll start with the one that is in the chat right now, and then we'll go through some of the ones that were asked on Instagram. So this is Dante. He says, "Hey bros, I have a question. I have an Adidas F50 Elite, and maybe I buy a Nike Mercurial Vapor or Superfly, or maybe the Griezmann new boots. What do you think?" Great from Germany. So basically, wants some recommendations. I think would you buy the Vapor Superfly? And he's looking at obviously the Kipster CLR kind of Griezmanns. So what would you go for, sir?
Okay, so this is gonna be a question for a question. The CLRs, is it? You know the silver ones? Did those drop?
No, so they're doing a limited. They did a sale of them, but in like store. So you had to go to the store, I think,
Okay.
in either France or Spain to be able to get them, and they released 400 pairs. So you couldn't get them online, but there's 400 pairs available, and you had to actually physically go to the store to get them.
Okay, so price wise, obviously that'd be the best. But personally, of those 3/4 options, Vapor Superfighter 50 or CLR,
Hmm.
I wouldn't personally be going out to get the CLR. I think it's probably performance wise the weakest of those. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah,
Um, I really do quite like the current Mercurial. I think it's super comfortable. You have the grip now, which in terms of like boot tech over the last, let's say, 5 years is probably one of the better innovations.
yeah,
And it's like, I think if you're, I guess it depends on what you want from a football boot, but because obviously the current F50 has like more like a gritty grip, so you have kind of a grip on it. But I
yeah.
think,
It's like the micro textured grit as
yeah,
opposed to like an overall kind of
or
sticky
like a
grip.
sticky grip, yeah. But
Mm.
I prefer the sticky grip, and it's like, to be fair, like no, the F50, I do like the F50. It's nice, but I do think if you're telling me go out and buy one boot of those three or four, it would be the Superfly or the Vapor. And whether it was the Superfly or the Vapor would depend on the colorway. Some colorway I like the Superfly, some I like the Vapor. But ultimately, the fact that you're saving £10 for the same boot with the Vapor, if somebody was saying
Yeah,
which one should I get, I'd say just get the Vapor. So
get the
of
vapor. Yeah.
those 3/4, I'd get the Vapor before I'd get the other three. What about you?
Yeah, so for me, I like obviously same as you. Like the Griezmann are grand for the price point, but if you're looking at elite level F50s or Mercurials, you've got to go for those instead. And I'm not a fan of the F50. I really don't like the upper. The upper on the F50 for me is too stiff. It's too like plastic. I just don't like it, and I think the Mercurial is miles ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So I would take the Mercurial. But then, if we're talking about alternative options around that kind of thing. The New Balance Furon V8, I think, is a that's your pick for like a top end speed boot right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's really, really great. Obviously, you can get the Sakito Scudetta. That's going to be a little bit cheaper. Really great option. Or if we are talking about everything in the same price bracket as those Griezmann boots, so you're looking at the academy level ones, I would, without question or hesitation, take the Phantom 6 Academy because that Phantom 6 Academy is a seriously good academy level boot. If anybody comes to me at the moment, is like, oh, I've got like, I want like a brand new boot in a brand new colorway, I've got like 80 pounds to spend. Go and get the Phantom 6. The Phantom 6 Academy is great. It's really, really good. They could have just about released that as a pro model and gotten away with it, I think.
Okay.
I think it's very, very good. So there we go. Clippy's collection. He should buy the Furon V8. Yes, I agree. Um, Front Post also agrees, says that the F50 seems fairly weak compared to a lot of other boots on the speed boots. Yep, for
Mm.
sure. Um, Socrates says, hello, everyone. Well, hope you're all doing well on this World Mental Health Day. Yes, happy World Mental Health Day to everybody. If you got stuff going on, we are glad that you're here with us or you're watching us. We hope you're making everything a little bit better. And if you need to, reach out to somebody, have a chat with somebody, and
For
hopefully
sure.
everybody is doing well. Like, take care of yourselves. Socrates is also going for the Uno Zero boots next, which is fair enough. Shadow has been another shout that's been put out there for a good speed boot. The Shadow Under Armour Shadow 3 Elite, which I think is a great shout.
Never
With a
mentioned the
different sole
razor
plate.
either.
And Footloose boots lower high for the academy. I doesn't matter too much. The low, obviously, you get the floating tongue, and the high is a little bit more seamless. I think I probably prefer the high, but I think you could go either way and not be too worried about it. Clippy's Collection has a question directly for you, LJ. Have you
Okay.
got an idea on how many pairs of boots you've bought this year?
People like asking me how many this, how many that. They want me to have a mental breakdown when I start doing the maths.
I counted mine up the other day, so I actually know how many I've bought this year, which is insane.
You go first. Go on.
85 pairs.
What? Okay, I'm glad you said that because mine isn't near that. 85. Is that bought and kept?
No.
Oh,
So I've
okay.
bought 80. Well, so I've bought 85 pairs, and then I have sold 42 of them. So
Okay.
I so what I have in the studio is plus 42 pairs than what I had at the start of the year. So
Oh
from
wait.
January 1st to
Okay.
now, I have 42 more pairs than when I started this year.
Oh, so wait. So you bought 85,
Yeah.
as in 85 that you've bought and not returned.
I'd say probably 70 that I've bought and not returned.
70 this year. Gosh, I thought
And
I
then
was
I've
like,
and then I've sold and then I've yeah, and then I've sold like I'm basically at a plus 42
okay,
pairs of boots. So that's
okay,
how many
because
extra pairs of boots are in the studio this year.
I'm looking through
That
my
does
list.
include a couple of free pairs, I will
I've
say. That
sold quite a
includes
lot
like a
this year as well.
free I think got a New Balance Furon V8 that I didn't pay
Okay.
for, two
Yeah,
pairs
but
of
you're not
Nike
counting those
boots.
though. You can't count those.
So okay, well then I don't have to count those. So
Yeah, you
that's
don't count
about another
those.
five. There's about another 5 or 6 pairs that I didn't pay for. So like
Gosh. Let's do a quick estimation.
Front
Look at
post says he
the list.
felt guilty buying 3 pairs this year.
I was about to
um,
feel guilty when I said my number, but your number make it so much better.
Clippy bought 21 pairs, hasn't sold any. Um,
Oh, do you know, in October, it's probably quite a high number.
yeah, yeah. We're in October, man. Like this
Oh,
is
probably like 20. Probably like
okay.
20.
That's not as many as I thought it would be. I thought you were going to have more.
Because I might be lying to myself. Because I remember I used to say to myself, when people used to ask me how many boots I have, I used to always say, "Oh yeah, it's probably between like 40 and 50." And then, and that was just like my stock answer because that's what I thought the truth was. And I counted them, and I was like, I've been lying to the people. And then when they asked me, because it was way more than that. I think I just tell myself it's less than I think it is because I don't want to start thinking about how much money I've spent. But it is October, so what? 10 months? Okay, it's probably more than 20. let's say 30, probably roughly
30
30.
pairs. 30 pairs on average. Fair
And I've
enough.
probably sold 15 to 20,
Okay, that's
So
pretty good. That's pretty good going.
I don't have many more now than before, just because I've got to the point where I don't really have space for more. So it's like two out, one in. No, probably two in, one out.
2 in 1 out. Yeah, the other way around. More like, yeah. I rearranged, as obviously anybody who watches the channel will know. I kind of rearranged a lot of the studio recently. Like where I record is different, the setup is different, and part of that change has been kind of like moving some of my shelves around and kind of organizing some stuff. So you can see the ones behind me. So I have this one here. So that's like 4 racks. That's full. I have this one here. I have one next to it. So those 3 are full. And then I have one next to that, which is basically empty. So, unfortunately, as far as my brain is going, it's going, there's a lot of empty space there. You could easily get more boots on that. So I've started kind of filling it up with like my camera gear and stuff, just so it's not as empty. But yeah, it's yeah, one too many pairs of boots, that's for sure. Let's get into some other questions. So I'm just going to have a look and go through some of the ones that were on Instagram. I'm going to start with the very first one that came in, which is from Chimney Pabo. One boot you would delete from the face of the earth.
Predator Edge. Goodbye. You don't exist. Both
Easy.
disappear. That is, yeah, that shouldn't, yeah. That is one of the easiest questions that I could be asked. I mean, it's
I'm
probably more that I would, but that's the first that came to my mind.
That's the
And
first one that came to mind. New Balance Vizaro 2.
okay,
That's my choice. It's
not
just
one which okay.
awful. I could have gone with the Puma Future 8. That would have made me happy to say Puma Future 8 because I hate that football boot with a fiery passion. That boot can
That
die.
would be a semi-controversial
Oh
one.
my god. The worst part about this collection is that it still has a pair of Puma Future 8s in it that at some point I might just burn. We covered Clippy's collections question. He was asking about the loss of the laceless tequila.
Yeah.
So we covered that one already. Okay, this is a good question. This is from JVR underscore T04. What's the best way to choose a boot if you can't decide?
Um, well, the first thing to do is to shop around, I would say. I always say that I think football boots are too expensive for you to not try a lot of different options. Like if you're going to demands that I pay £200 plus, I'm talking about elite boots for something, I think it's my right to be like, I'm gonna order. If we can't go into a shop, I'm gonna order 5 pairs and send back the four I don't like. That's the
Absolutely.
first thing to do. Um, I think it's always going to be super subjective in the sense that it's like it's going to be what works, what you feel works with your foot. I think you need to ask yourself when you've worn boots in the past, what is it that you liked about the boots that you liked? So it's like um, maybe a particular type of sole plate really felt nice. You know, like I personally like only it's only after collecting boots and wearing boots for a while that I started to learn truly my preferences because I think
Hmm.
originally for me it was much more about aesthetics. I like how this looks, and it was only like, for example, when I wore the Puma Ultra Carbon, I was like, okay, cool. I really don't like how this feels. You know what I mean? And it was then when I was really okay, cool, made me think back to okay, what boots do I like, and then what kind of sole plates do they have? So I think okay, I prefer much more of like a maybe a slightly more flexible sole plate, you know, or like um, a more sort of neutral stud pattern. I like that. So it's like if I am now looking for, say, I was say in an alternate universe, looking to buy one pair of football boots and have that,
Yeah.
then that's something that I would look for. And then it's like, yeah, I think it's almost like if in your head, if you think of what you would build the perfect boot to be, and then try and like see which boots have those elements, because I think we were talking earlier about the F50 versus the Vapor. I know some people who really kind of like that kind of like plasticky sensation,
Yeah.
whereas I know that I don't. I much prefer that kind of more modern kind of softer knit feeling because I remember wearing the South Africa F50, the 2010 ones, the remake from Pro Direct,
Yeah.
and being like, no, like this is
Yeah.
like
No.
no, yeah, and it's like stuff like that. Also, that as well, that side of it, where you're like, what don't you like when you wear a boot? And it's, I think, if you can't decide, it's just a case of really thinking closely about what you do like, you know, and
Yeah.
then trying to build around that. And feel free, like, you look around, you know, watch reviews, read reviews, and stuff like that. But I think
Yeah.
it's
Watch
always gonna
reviews.
come.
Where could you see
Yeah,
reviews? Maybe I have no idea. Maybe
I
watch
think
some
there's this guy
reviews.
I watch sometimes. Was it? It's called, I think.
Boot Warlock or something. Boot
Something like
Witch. I
that.
don't know,
Something to do with
something
magic.
like that. You should check out his reviews. He's great. But yeah, I agree with everything you said. I would say like start with your budget. How much have you got to spend?
Of
Look
course. Yeah.
around that price, see kind of like, okay, what are my options? Do exactly what LJ said. Go through, okay, what do I want? What don't I want? And if you're not sure if that boot has that, watch reviews. And then from there, you can basically, I would narrow it down to, again, exactly what I just said, 4 or 5 pairs of boots and just order them all. Like if you're in like most places in the UK, in the EU, have free shipping and returns from at least somewhere. So like
Mm.
I can order in the EU from Nike, Puma, New Balance, all these different places with free shipping to me, and I can return the boots for free. So just order 5 pairs of boots and return 4 of them. Because the most important thing is you find the pair that fit you well and that you're comfortable in. So just return the ones that don't fit you and they aren't comfortable for you, and then you'll be good to go. Also, make sure you get the right size. There happens to again be this boot wizard guy that has a really good video on
Mm.
how to get the right size football boots. You should check that
Cool.
out. Okay, moving on. Next question. So this one we actually covered. So this is Ryan underscore Gosling. I'm assuming not the real Ryan Gosling.
It is.
I don't
It's
think he's into boots. He has asked, how good is the Nike Phantom 6 Academy really? I think I kind of covered that earlier, which was great. And then Josh in the chat here I saw him put a question in. Hold on. Hold on. Josh put a question in the chat and I've lost it. Here we go. So Josh says, not boot related, but what are your thoughts on obviously the new Adidas Trionda ball dropping so early? We're going to have that ball for like almost a year
So
before
the
we
World
actually
Cup,
get to the tournament.
when does it start? June, May?
Let's have a look. World Cup 2026 opening fixtures list schedule. So the opening game is the 11th of June.
Okay, so what's that? 8 months ish? No, it can't.
Yeah,
Oh, it is. Um. Okay. First thing I'll say is that it's hard for me to remember for certain how early World Cup balls tend to drop. It's not something I pay
I
massive
have
attention.
no idea, but I assume it's not this
It
early.
doesn't feel that. So
Yeah.
my opinion will be very tied to my opinion of late stage capitalism, to be honest. So if we're gonna go down that tangent, we can. But it's
Do it.
like
Tangent it up. Do it.
um, I don't like it, to be honest. I hadn't thought about it, to be honest. I just saw it. 'Cause I'm not like a ball guy, but like
Mm.
I think stuff like that. It's like I guess from their perspective, having it available for as early as possible gives them a really good chance to sell it for 8 months prior to the World Cup, as opposed to a month prior. Football like that, once the World Cup goes until it drops in price, people probably won't buy it. Helps with anticipation, blah blah blah. But like, I think something like that, if you want it to be truly special in the way that like a Jabulani or whatever, FIFA Nova or whatever it is, I think you drop it at the time or drop it close to the time,
Yeah.
because it's like you tie it as much or as closely to the event as possible. But things like that, feelings like that are secondary to
How
the
much money can you make?
yes. So 8 months of sales prior to the World Cup is better maths than 1 month or whatever it would normally be. I mean, it's not the biggest deal in the world, probably because like it's a football, and there are going to be things which I imagine closer to the tournament they do. But the fact is, it's like they're going to sell this one for 8 months. Tournament's going to come along. We're going to get to like the quarterfinal or something. We're going to get
It
another
could be a
one.
new ball.
We're going to get to the final. We're going to get a gold one.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe third place playoff, they'll find a bronze one from somewhere. Um, I don't know. It's like I don't know. I think I do wonder. I wonder, like more so with football boots, because obviously that's what I'm more concerned with. What the next 10 to 15 years look like,
Mm.
because we have so many things like which Adidas and Nike, more so Adidas, can re-release. So we can have a Team Guys football re-release. We can have a Jabulani re-release because these things hold the level of significance they hold because of how they were dealt with at the time, and where we don't seem to deal with things in the same way anymore. I do wonder like in 10, 15 years time, are we going to get a Trionda full remake? I
Yeah.
don't know if
I
we
don't
can.
think so.
I don't
Yeah.
think we can. So it's like,
Because it's like, but it's exactly what you say. It's not special anymore. Like,
yeah.
it's not going to be tied to anything. It's not going to be like these special moments or anything like this. So why would we want it? There's not going to be enough nostalgia there for us
Hmm.
to want it again. It has to have done something special. And if it hasn't, because we've released 800 of them in 800 colorways and it's been
Uh-huh.
around for 800 years, then we're not going to care to want to buy. We're not going to buy that nostalgia because there's nothing to sell.
So I do wonder, like, it's this kind of, it's ironic to call it short termism given they're giving it more time, but it's like this kind of crazy short termism. I wonder in the long run what it's going to do. And like, I mean, in the end, I'm sure the people who are behind, like, I don't know, like commercial planning or whatever at Nike, they know more than me. They do. But like,
I think they know. I
I
think
did
I
that.
said this
So
last week on the podcast. They know what they're doing for the next quarter, because what they
yes.
have to do is appease investors and appease people, appease stockholders, and things like
Hmm.
that. So all they care about is what do the figures look like for the next quarter. I don't think they're thinking far enough ahead. I think they might be thinking the next 2 or 3 quarters ahead, but all they're thinking is how do we get the
Hmm.
balance sheet to look good for the
Yeah.
next quarter.
I mean,
They're
they
not
don't. And
thinking
it's a
10
thing
years in
where,
advance.
and it's a thing where it's like, if you're good at doing that, if you're good at thinking a couple of quarters ahead and you can do so in the if you can do so consistently, then it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter that you can't think of 10 years, because in 10 years, two quarters back, you'll have worked out what to do. But it's like I think
It's
I'm
risky.
curious to see what happens because
Yeah.
a lot of the things which we do see now, like they are the short term moves are ones which are benefiting from old long term moves, if you get what I mean.
Yes. Yeah, yeah,
Then in the
absolutely.
future you can't do that. Anyway, we've that's a bit tangential, but yeah, I don't.
We love a
I'm
tangent.
not mad at the ball coming out early. I think it's a good way to build an extra bit of anticipation for the tournament. In a sense, if we're going to go devil's advocate the other way as well, builds hype. It makes you think about the World Cup, which is, if you're a football fan, it's a nice thing to do. But 8 months is a long time.
It is a
Eight,
long time.
we've just started the season. Essentially.
Yeah. Let's fly through some quicker ones here, see if we can. So we've got one here in the chat. Cookie Verta, do you think that Mizuno is the absolute best? No, but
What does
also
absolute
yes.
best mean?
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. They make some great boots. They also make some not great boots. They have like a really high standard, but then you're also paying an awful lot for it.
Hmm.
So that yeah, I don't think you can really say that any brand is the absolute best. You can kind of like go with, oh, this is they have my favorites, or whatever, but there's so much variation. I just don't think that's something we can actually get into anyway. We'll move on. So Adam says, will the Nike Tiempo ever get to ASICS level synthetic leather so they can actually keep the Tiempo range relevant? I don't see a reason why not. I just think they're choosing not to.
I mean, clearly, not clearly, you would think that it would get. Okay, first things first, the current TM, I don't mind it, I think we
It's
are,
fine.
yeah, I think if it was just a boot that wasn't a TM Pro, I think people would like it a lot more. I think the fact that it
I
has
agree.
that name and you go from like one of the most kind of iconic leather models to something which isn't leather increases the scrutiny on the material that you replace the leather with, and the pressure on it. If they decide to, I mean, clearly they're going to continue going down this road. I think there's no reason why over time it won't get better. It wouldn't make sense for it to not get better.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that they can get better, and they could. I reckon, like Nike could for the next model, if they wanted to, put out something that is of a similar mold to the silky wrap that's on the Asics boots. But if that's not the direction they've chosen to go in, we won't get it. They can
Hmm.
essentially do whatever they like with a synthetic leather boot, and it really comes down to what they decide to do, and whether that's well received or not. Okay, next question. This is a good one based on what we've just spoken about by buying too many pairs of boots. LJ, how does your partner or your friends or your family view your spending on football boots?
Partner, don't have a partner, not because of the boots.
Yeah, I don't have a partner. It's going to spend
I
all my
hope
money
that's
on
not
boots.
why.
I can't afford to take anybody out.
Um, Friends, I think in my
We're
group
your
chat,
friends, and we don't judge.
fairly well. You guys don't judge because you're or just as bad as me. Recently, one of my group chats, somebody asked how many boots I had, and obviously they follow my page, so
Mm,
they know there's a lot there. But I think as a regular human being who doesn't have the amount of football boots that someone like you or I might have, you don't do the maths in your head and think how many do you have. And when I said the amount that I had, and I was like, and they asked me how much a boot cost, and I was like roughly X amount. They were
yeah.
like, "This is a crazy person. We are we have amongst us somebody who isn't like who is yeah." So I think when people know how many I have, they're a bit like my parents surprise me to be fair because they just seem to not really care to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah. So sometimes if I'm like in the middle of doing something content related where I have to get like a lot of pairs out, they just mom will say to me like, "What are you doing with all these boots?" It's like, "What are you gonna do with them?" And I was like, "Yeah," I didn't say nothing.
Just
And
look
I
at
just,
them.
I just run away. But people think you're crazy,
Yeah.
and I feel like we have the level of perspective where we recognize that it's probably kind of true.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
is.
yeah.
This is
That's
not a
it.
normal. Like when I look
Yeah.
behind you, what I see is not that's not normal. I like
No.
it. I
Yeah.
like it, and I'm even jealous of the self. I'm like, I wish that was what mine looked like, but it's not normal.
Yeah,
Um,
but it's not normal. That's so true. But yeah, no, I my so my partner, my wife, without my wife, Boot Wizard wouldn't exist. She's the one that encouraged me to do this.
Okay.
So really, this is her fault. So I was kind of like, I had an interest in boots, but I hadn't really taken it to any kind of like level. And I was chatting to my wife about this possibility. This was 2019, so this was a long while ago. She wasn't my wife at the time, but anyway, I was chatting to her about it, about like maybe doing something on YouTube or something like that, and I'll maybe do it with boots because I was into boots, and she was the one there going, absolutely, yeah, you should do it. Like you should absolutely kind of like give that a go and things like that. Now I don't know if she knew what it would turn into 6 years down the line, and or no, it's what we 8 years down the line actually. I think maybe 6, 8, 7, 7 years, almost down the line. I don't think she knew what it would turn into. But fun fact, without getting too far off topic, me doing Boot Wizard as a result of me collecting boots and therefore doing Boot Wizard got me my job that I do now. So I used to work in hospitality. I used to be basically a mixologist, fancy cocktail bartender. So I used to manage bars and I used to do competitions for like mixology and things like that. I was quite good at it, but I was doing this on the side. And then 2 years ago, last month, a company approached me and well, another side note, but anyway, company approached me and basically said, "Would you like to be the face of our YouTube channel?" So because I did my YouTube channel, I am now the face of I'm the face of two YouTube channels, and I also contribute to a third YouTube channel, which is where I started, and that channel has over 1 million subscribers. So I physically get paid to make YouTube videos because of Boot Wizard. Which definitely costs money, but so like that, I can't ever be mad at it because of what that's allowed me to achieve. And I have to give a shout out because saying a company reached out to me is not correct. There's a guy that some of you will know him if you've been in the boot space long enough. Yaz, he did YJ football for a long while. I'm good friends with Yaz. We actually tried to start a podcast, I think in 2020 between the two of us. It just didn't work out. And Yaz is the one that got me in touch with the job, and it's how I got my job through that. So that's a massive tangent, but boots are important and they got me
Yeah.
my job. So, you
So
know,
let that be a lesson to anyone who's thinking about starting.
just be a crazy person. But it is about, like, I know it sounds ridiculous, but it is about obsession. Like,
Mhm.
my brain, the way I work, my whole being is built on this idea of like everything I do is like special interest. So I'm like, okay, if I'm going to be into boots, I am being into boots to an obscene level. If I'm
Mm.
into making YouTube videos, I know YouTube inside out. But if I'm into film, into cameras, into lighting, I get crazy about them. And that has worked out for me. It also has its downsides. Do not recommend, but you know, it does also work. So yeah, proper boots saying yes. Yaz is awesome. Yaz is awesome. He is the nicest guy. So lots and lots of love for Yaz. I think we'll do one more question. I know we have lots more, but we are already over an hour. So I'm going to just quickly have a look here at some of the other questions and pull out another one. Okay, here we go. This is a good one. I apologize to anybody whose questions that we haven't got to. I know there's one from Proper Boots in here that we haven't got to and things like that. But this is Ollie Roach 55. Is there a boot you want to like, but just no matter what, you just doesn't work for you?
I wish somebody didn't ask that. I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna get in trouble.
Go on.
I don't really. I don't love. I haven't been able to really truly love wearing the current or previous model of the Predator.
Interesting.
It's
Okay.
just. It's like okay, this is probably my fault because obviously, as somebody who has a lot of pairs of boots, I don't necessarily wear any boot loads of times, right? So,
Yeah,
like, a pair that I like might mean that in the space of 5 or 6 months, I've worn it 5 or 6, 7 or 8 times.
exactly.
The Predator, especially less so this one. It's just a bit too. Just a little bit too snug around the front of it. And it's like,
it's definitely got a low toe box, no question.
it's just for me, I find that to be a really uncomfortable sensation. You know, I have a slim foot as well, so it's not like my foot is too wide. I just find that to be a really uncomfortable sensation when I put the boot on. And obviously, with this one, the 25, the hybrid touch, is a little bit softer, so
Hmm.
it's a nicer feeling. It's not quite as bad, but it's like I say, as somebody who has a lot of pairs of boots, like I think I'm sure you find this as well. If you wear a pair and you don't like, and if there's a thing you don't like about it,
Just put them back on the
just
shelf.
wear something else, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
So like that it's just I've really tried to enjoy wearing them, like especially like a first wear or second wear. And like I say, I think the I can't remember what pack it was, but the all black pair of the 24, I wore those quite a lot of times. And I think clearly at a certain point it was fine. But it's just like, why are you squeezing my toes? Like, why are you doing that to me?
Why
Like, why? That's
are you
not nice.
squeezing my toes? What's going on?
So it's like because visually I really do like them,
Mm,
obviously, and obviously it's such an the boot itself, like the last two for the return of the tumbler, is they're important for boots in a
yeah,
sense, and they're good. They are good generally, but I just
just
think
don't work for
just
you.
I just can't like. I don't feel the need to fight through that feeling of discomfort. I'll just wear a different pair of football boots. So
Yeah.
it's because I was thinking about that this week because I wore um, what was the pair of those that I recently got? I can't remember, but I think I was last weekend or the weekend before. I was going to wear the laceless ones, so I had
Hmm.
them in my bag to wear. But I also had like a pair of the Vinny Vapor 16s,
Yeah.
and I was gonna wear the laceless Predator, and I'd worn them a couple of times, and I put them on, and I was like, I'm just gonna wear these other ones instead. I'm
Yeah.
not
I'm
gonna
just going to wear the other
because
ones.
I'm
Yeah.
actually playing football. You know what I mean? Like I kind of want. Anyway, sorry guys, man. I apologize for my opinion, but like,
Don't
no
you
question
don't
to you,
apologize.
obviously.
You're on the podcast. You do what you want. That's if Andrew was here, Andrew would say something along the lines of, "If you don't like it, you should set up your own podcast." Something along those
Okay,
lines.
yeah.
My answer would be the Alpha Two, the Mizuno Alpha Two.
Ooh.
So
Go on, elaborate.
there's my hot take, which is probably just as hot as your
Yours is
Predator
hot as
take.
mine, bro. Sorry.
Yeah, it doesn't agree with me at all. I cannot get, and it's kind of what you've just said. I cannot get over the volume in the toe box. There is
Hmm.
too much volume over my toes. I don't like it. It just feels weird. It looks weird. I don't like it, and I can't get over it. And as a result, they never go out. They got 3 sessions for the playtest for the review,
Hmm.
and they went back on the shelf, and that was it. And like I've never got them out again. They don't even get as far as, oh, I'm going to give them another go and put them in the bag. I don't want to wear them, so they don't get that far. So yeah, the Alpha Two, which is probably going to set the world on fire. But you know,
The world's
there
on
we
fire.
go.
I'm looking outside. I can see it.
And on that bombshell, we are going to just switch over to a little members only chat for a little while. I apologize if we didn't get to your question. We might indeed see when LJ is free next. We're getting back on to finish up those questions. So I'm going to switch this over to a members only chat. We'll be here for about 10 minutes. If you're not a member, you will still be able to watch for the next 10 minutes, but you won't be able to comment or interact. There is that YouTube are rolling out a feature which basically will change that so that it does go to exclusively members only, which is pretty cool. So that's going to come in very, very soon. But for now, it is members only, and we go. There we go. Done. Cool.